Open access is just one of those things that should be a given as far as scientific research is concerned. Science works on an open interchange of ideas, and if things aren't available, then ideas aren't being interchanged. I think it was Oscar Wilde who said something like, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Now, scientists want to be talked about. They want their ideas to be talked about by other scientists, other people, and open access promotes that. Why should you do something really interesting and hide it away so nobody can see it? Doesn't seem any point in it.
So I have strong views on open access publishing, but really that comes from my own strong views on open data. I find it very difficult to understand people who want to keep their data closed when it's been funded by public domain resources for the good generally of everybody. I see no reason not to make your data fully accessible.
Open access is going to be sort of the model that is going to drive the egalitarian distribution of scientific information. And as we go towards increasing globalization, where marketing and industry and economies are linked, I think it's a no-brainer that we should also think of ways in which we can link scientific information so that everybody globally can in fact share in the development of knowledge.
Over the last few years, I've found that the way I use the literature has changed completely. Everything now happens with the computer, and my normal mode of working is to go to PubMed, search, and then click on the links. When I see one of those little icons for the open access to the full document, I'm more likely to read that work.
People who do publish in open access journals will find their work being more used and more accessible by a growing group of people, whereas people who continue to publish in closed journals will, I'm afraid to say, have their work dismissed or ignored over time.
Another advantage of open access, of course, is that people in the developing world have complete access to the literature, which even the major journals, they often don't get access to with the conventional model.
Anybody. You can talk about a scientist who is in Cuba, you can talk about a graduate student who might be in Kenya, you can talk about even your sons and daughters who might be in high school and doing a science project, okay? Virtually anybody who has access to the web, okay, can read your information and can benefit from your information.
Open access publishing is clearly the way of the future for libraries and the academic community.
I see open access publishing as the first step towards a sort of new future where all of the results of scientific research are available openly and in a coordinated manner.
This model has some really important sort of epic-changing effect on how we go forward, not just in publishing, but how we go forward in terms of distributing knowledge, as a civilization. It is really an unprecedented opportunity.
As far as I'm concerned, I think that publishing through open access is doing the right thing.